Good morning, DJ. It is Monday, February 9th. The time is currently 9:16 a.m. It is a bloody good morning, DJ. Woke up today just a little bit after my 9:45 alarm, so I got up at like 9:49. I got my morning routine in, arrived at my desk at 9:13. So no news today, all understood. As always, my weekly target is 5%. Mental check-in, feeling generally okay. All right, excited to continue to collect data on my model, my procedures and protocols. Excited to get closer to all of that and, get 1% better in these markets and continue to grow as always, right? Risk disclaimer, I accept any risk that comes with trading today. I understand that trading comes with real risk and that losing is part of the battle. There was a thing there, now it's gone. Anyway. Um, did our risk disclaimer. News. All right. No news of note to mention today. All right, but we're here anyway, getting closer to our execution and trade management. Okay. Obviously, on this particular account that we're here for today, we wouldn't be taking the trade, but we're not there yet. All right. So, and we'll have multiple accounts doing multiple things. So just another day to collect more data, all right, gain some more confidence and get closer to my model, my procedure and protocols. Risk going into today is pro trend trades are obviously 1% and counter trend trades are 0.5, and we have a max of 1.5. Weekly program going to this week is a buy program. I'm doing something where I'm strictly just relying on the seasonal tendency, all right, just to see how that plays out, okay, because I've done it the other way. Now it's time to try this way and collect data on it this way and see how it goes. And a weekly program going to this week is a buy program. Okay, so let's go ahead and review price action overnight to see if anything's happened to change that for us here. Mhm. Dollar, all right, retraced into premium array. All right, now we're seeing a bit of a retracement. I could have sworn I adjusted this, but I guess when I shut this bitch down, it didn't update what it needed to update on there, I guess. Oh, there we go. All right. We do have this discount array. Okay, so I want to see how price behavior. I want to see it. I want to see price disrespect this inefficiency. Close below it. Use it as an inversion. All right, to continue lower. All right, so dollar is still risk on scenario for me. For me, dollar lower. Everything else should be going higher. This is just I'm about to take this bitch off my screen because I just don't even like it. Don't even like looking at it. Um, nothing to mention there. M&Q Dow. Oh, I saw this. It was yesterday. Yeah, yesterday. I'm like, whoa, where did this come from? I didn't even look at this. But Dow, as you can see, all right, took is all his buy side while the other two are lagging behind. This is next in line to take his buy side. While this is like not even close to its buy side. So we definitely have SMTs. We had SMT on the lows as well. We took this low, but we didn't take the low here on Dow. Um, see how price behaves in this inefficiency here. That's where we're at. But as far as my current understanding of price action goes, I'm gonna elect to stick with my weekly program, or I'll be in a buy program this week. Uh, let's carry on. Oh, 6-day, we're good. 20-day is already adjusted, so we're good. Got the weekly, let's get previous day. Let's go ahead and identify our dealer range for this session here. Now, DJ, I'm still debating whether I want to draw across the key levels. They are my PD arrays, so let's go in today with it on there. And let's see how it plays out, right? Let's see how this plays out today. Ooh, me stomach. God damn. BRB DJ. Mm. Mm-mm-mm. All right. We took dealing range sell side there. All right. So session bias is sells. Retracement setup till we get up here, but not really, not what I'm here for. We, we DJ, man's going through it out here. Let's identify our internal 30. That would have been the retracement setup. Potentially here too, but I wouldn't have felt confident about that one. This one, yeah. Just confirming that the bottom one is the risk to reward. 24, I'm still good, though. Just low. Trading views going through it again or what? Like, what's good trading view? Oh yeah, really? Ain't that some shit? All right, GB, come on, man. New interval. Tell me. 9. Yeah, takes me out, takes me out. Fair enough. My God. Mhm. Oh, just can't even click this thing here. We'll be waiting for 1 minute. 26%, so we're good for that one. Either way would be 1 minute entry for me, because I took a 15-second loss here. Would have took it here too if I didn't take this one. I am paying attention to this thing here. It is macro on the 15 seconds. It's too sexy nowadays. On 950, you getting tagged in that. I am watching you. Oh, this is actually a counter trend trade in it. Because really my weekly is pro. It's buy. And that's one thing too, DJ. I still haven't like figured out if I'm going to do PT as in session PT. But I did say I'll do weekly PT. Sometimes it's gonna go against the session. So my weekly PT really is buys. So this is a CT and should be managed as such. So I should really be taking 2 off our -1. And then the last one at -2. Let's watch and see. It could potentially be going from external to external. Right after we take one side, there's only two things it can do. It can retrace to continue in the direction that we're going, or it can retrace to reverse. External to external. So after the expansion is only the two things. Retrace, continue, and retrace to reverse. Oh, it would have been all the way up here and probably wouldn't have offered me an entry based on the range. Yeah, definitely. This is not something I'll be getting. This is way more than 30%. Not be trading that. We do have relatively equal highs up here, so reduces the probability of this setup here, but meets the criteria. Have to engage. Newsless Monday. Again, newsless price action. Yep. Fair. Taken London buy side, flirting with previous day's high, which we have already taken before. So, oh man, it's not. To smash dealing range, smashing dealing range to the buy side. So we just went from external to external. So bias has been flipped to a buy program in line with our weekly program. 14, took out 15, so we're going to 44. Fair enough. Now we'll be anticipating the retracement to continue or retracement to external like we just did. Now let's get our sell side internal liquidity ready to go. Just low down here. Just currently during the range low. We take this low, I'll be interested in a retracement trade here that we will take read. Go Asia, buy side above price.
You can change the trajectory of your life by doing every hour of an hour.
According to the conversation, we're getting increasingly less and less apart because of technology. Also, there was this really interesting study done by the Cleveland Clinic. They talk about people who are actors through this long in person. It says a major finding in 2025 found a danger of being active surgery, which is people who exercise like 30 to 60 minutes but sit for the remaining 10 minutes a day. If you sit more than 10 hours a day, your risk of cardiovascular disease increases. Really killing exercise because longer sitting lipids, enzymes seem to be very glucose from it's annoying to me.
Unfortunately, this is what happens. We're becoming more sedentary in our day-to-day lives. We're sitting more. We're not going out as much. There's younger kids on video games. They're scrolling. They're putting at risk type 2 diabetes, cardiovascular disease. We're not getting our 10,000 steps per day.
Oh, what you do to me? Leave all your bills on me. Yeah, we'll be interested in this sell here. Retracement setup. Paying attention to that, DJ. Into a discount for continuation higher. So it was what, 7 contracts he gave me. Don't think we would have been tagged in this one yet. So 4 would be coming off. 4, 1, and 1. -1. 4625. Now, my biggest next thing is the continuation. Do I require internal liquidity and a PD array? Or is just the PD array okay? You know what I'm saying? It says and or. Internal lick and or PD array. PD array. I can't say the word. Typically the retracement typically gives -2 and then flips. That's what I've noticed from last week anyway. I'll be watching that market structure shift here. Okay, so we'll be interested in a buy here. So let's follow it along. There's our entry. Stop here. Yep, it's allowed. No internal, but we do have PD array here. So, well, let's adjust in the range. This would be another one here. -1 smash there. Stop will be adjusted to 7225. How many contractors? Let me get in. 9. Targeting external liquidity. Also come down into midnight open. So 4 would be off here and 3 will be coming off here. That gives us 2 more left. For -3 and -4 will be terminus on this trade. Oopsies. -2. Thank you very much. Stop to 990.50 right there. About to take external liquidity. Taking external liquidity there. Arrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrr. Few L's in here, but that's fine. That comes with it when we're going for external to external. All right. We made the back here. -3. I won't be touching the stop anymore. on pro-trend trades anyway. Maybe a -4, I'll touch it. Or just leave it alone and just focus on partial. You know what I mean? So this just proved here that we don't need, right? It can be one or the other or both, right? It can be just a PD array, it can be just an internal liquidity, or it can be a PD array and internal liquidity. Taking Asia buy side there as well. Fairs. Solid day, regardless, right? We'll go back, DJ, and look at what we could have done differently in terms of when prices go into external, but there's not much we really could have done, right? There's only two outcomes after expansion and one side of the dealing range is taken. It's either going to retrace to continue or retrace to reverse. And we had the retrace to reverse, right? Took liquidity pool, which flipped our bias, all right, to buys in the session in line with our weekly program, okay, and came down into internal liquidity or to a discount array, right? Internal liquidity, discount array, same shit. And gave us the continuation setup here. And that's what we would be waiting for. For retracement, it will be this low, we'll be waiting for. And would have been taken out this after one partial. Did give you 1.52 if you split it between this and this. Would have given you, look at something here. What was the contract? I believe it was 7. 7 and 4 coming off here. So I could have took 1 off here and 3 here. And I believe this would have been 2 here or 3. Could have took 1 off here and then the remaining 2 here. I'll be interested in a retracement setup here. This market structure shift here. Cool. Sleep down there. It comes back and gives us an entry.
So when I'm listening to a call, guys, like, what's your budget? Back question. Okay, what are you buying? Back question. What else are you looking at? Back question. What's your price range? Back question. Okay, and these are general questions. What product do you use? Sound awful questions you're asking. Let's say I'm in construction. The guy called and asked for a price on a redo my kitchen. Like, great, so I'd be happy to meet you. Kitchen is like a meet you. No, because you've been sitting in your Ivy Tower. Get out of there and go listen to the call. Sir, I'd be happy to give you a price on redoing your kitchen. Let me ask you a couple questions. What's the last time you redid your kitchen? Oh, no, we never did it. Kitchen's 40 years old. Excellent. So I'm going to get you a price on what putting in. I'm assuming a new island, new floors, new cabinets, new washer, appliances. Let me ask you a question. When you're thinking about redoing a kitchen, it can cost anywhere between $38,000 to $150,000, or maybe $19,000 on the low side, and you just wanted to go in there and fix something.
Take an external, you'd be getting smashed out of that retracement setup there.
Okay. Let me ask you, when you think about spending that much money, two questions. Number one, who else would be involved in the selection of the materials and the price? Oh, no, just me. I'm the only decision maker. See, what I'm doing is I'm using qualifying questions as a way to set point the close in about making price. These things should be combined. People are using their missing savings. Do you listen?
Would be interested in a sell here. Obviously, it's a retracement trade. Not on this particular account, but it will be something that would interest me. Been getting smashed out of that bad boy. Arrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrr. Nice trade. Beautiful stuff. Beautiful, beautiful. Lovely jubbly. Lovely jubbly. Oi. Oi. Ooh. Another day of data collecting and building confidence. I'm there. I'm there. I'm there. I'm there. I'm there. All right. While that one does this thing, let's go back, DJ, and let's talk through what we went through here this morning. Let's talk it through, DJ. Let's get a better understanding here of maybe potentially what we could have done differently. If there was nothing to do differently, then there's nothing to do differently, right? But if there is, we'll find out. So we took dealing range to the sell side here, telling us that our session bias was a sell program, okay? After expansion and taking one side of the market, price can only do two things. There's only two outcomes. It can retrace, all right, into a premium to continue lower to external liquidity, or it can retrace and continue higher to take external liquidity, meaning on buy side, right? External to external, flipping our bias, which it did, right? So let's walk through it. Took sell side. All right, we got the retracement up here, which we wouldn't have been engaged in it because this range, it's the stop loss percentage, which is what I discovered during my back testing session this weekend, is that ranges where the stop loss percentage here is over 30%. We're not interested in nose trade, right? We want it to be below 30%. So this is 46. You know what I mean? Not 30%, but it's 0.30. Yeah, same shit. You know what I'm saying? This is 0.46, way above it, so it wouldn't have been an entry, or we wouldn't have engaged in this according to our position protocols. But nice to watch either way, right? It panned out, right? It's still going. Retracement. We've got heading to -2 there on that, but nothing that I would have been engaged in. No worries. All right. Sometimes it gives it to you, the retracement, sometimes it doesn't. This time, according to our precision protocols, it didn't give it to us. So we got a retracement into premium of the dealing range, where we would be anticipating a continuation to the sell side because we initially took sell side. So we're looking to sell into a discount. We're looking for internal liquidity or premium and discount arrays to aid us in the sell setup into discount. We had this one here. All right. Failed. Fair enough. 15 seconds. You'd be waiting for the next interval or 1 minute setup. Okay, so now maybe we can adjust something here in terms of our precision protocols, DJ. So if it carries on in the next interval, I've seen it not pan out more times than it has, but that's something I'll need to start collecting data on and paying attention to, DJ, in terms of the setup starting in the previous interval after taking a loss, right, and continuing to the next interval. It is a new interval, so the 15 seconds rule gets reset. So this was fair, right? This was fair enough. But then the next one would have to be a 1 minute, which it was. Or do I want to see after the interval has begun, right? Is it fine for it to continue from the previous one, or do I want to see it after the interval has, kicked off, right? So that's something I need to watch. Continuation of setup from previous interval or post interval start setup. Cool. Fair enough. At my current precision protocols, this was a fair trade, right? It's a new interval. Either after taking a loss here on the 15 seconds, we wait for 1 minute, or we wait for the next interval. Now, the question at hand is, for the next interval, are we allowing the continuation of the previous interval onto the next interval? Or are we waiting for post the start of the interval to then anticipate a setup on the 15 seconds, which would have been this one, which still would have been the L, and you would be waiting for 1 minute, which was here. But obviously the 15 seconds here gave you look or something, -2, came to take you out break even, right? Fair enough, right? There was nothing wrong with any of these cells, all right? These are cells I'll take over and over again. Clearly, the market was going from, I'm sticking to one side, right? Retracement to continuation, but I also understand and I'm aware that we can also go from external to external, right? So yeah, I did notice this here, but obviously I wasn't aware, nor would I have been aware that we're going external to external, right? I'll need to collect more data to see if there's something in price that lets me know that, hey, we're going to continue higher. And it did go with the program, and we did have relative equal highs above price. That's also something to pay attention to, but that don't mean anything, really. Yeah, so all of this was fair. All of this was fair. Now, if I had brought time into the matter, right? Time and then price. If I had brought time into the matter, right, which is our most important aspect in trading, and we were just not strictly, but mainly, preferably waiting for 950 macro, right, to engage, have a setup formed, enter the market, whatever you want to look at, right? If we were specific in that, maybe on the 15 second, I need to have just the macros, you know? Okay, let's lay it down the line. I don't know it. Ooh, okay. 15 second. Maybe for the 15-second entries, I would prefer the macros, not only just macros, but more attention to the macros on that side of things, right? And let's see how that plays out. But obviously, I'll still take the other ones, but mainly I'll be paying attention to macro times. Anyway, if we brought time into it, right, this probably would have been potentially the only setup, right, we would have took for the morning, bringing macros into it on the 15 seconds. 1 minute, 1 minute anytime works, right? So 1 minute wouldn't have got us into anything, really and truly, except for the one that we did get into, which was the L. Fair enough. Okay, okay. So that's the only thing that would have avoided this 15-second loss here and this 15-second loss. If we brought time into the mixture. All right, cool. So, all right, so that's the only thing that eliminates these losses. I'll be paying a closer attention. Obviously, they're not the only ones I would take in, but for the 15 seconds, preferably, I would prefer a macro setup, right, which just increases the probability of the setup for me. Cool, fair enough. But it's not going to avoid all the losses because this is also a macro retracement setup. Well, forms outside, completes outside of the macro, really and truly. Entry inside of the macro. Setup forms inside of the macro, you can enter outside of the macro. 'Cause, yeah, 15 seconds, 950 macro. 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 I saw this here, but obviously at that time I wasn't aware that we were going to have an external to external happening. So fair enough. Not in there. We had this retracement set up, gave us nothing. Fair enough. Then we got a retracement set up here, gave us negative 1.5, came to take us out at reduced risk. Then we got the continuation set up here to take external liquidity using a PD array and not internal. Okay, so it's either internal and or PD array. Because internal would have been down here. Okay, okay. So drawing this out. Which one was this here? This was AM session. Opening range buy side. So I do need to note my key levels, key highs and lows. And the trade is currently at negative 5.5. It would have been done at negative 4 here. Anything else above that is a bonus with a runner. And also we had this retracement setup failed outside of a macro. Outside of a macro, right? So, all right, I'm banking them data there. I'm banking them data there. So would have avoided that, would have avoided that. But then, right, in regards to this, if you were just solely basing on 15-second macro trades, right, we wouldn't have been in this retracement cell here. Which is fine. I mean, it's not like I gave you all that, but still, it's still a factor to consider, right? Now that I'm conscious of it, right, I'll pay more attention to it. And if I discover that I'm missing out on more trades than I need to, it won't be a main factor. But if I find out that it's giving me a higher probability setup, obviously I will prefer macro setups on the 15 seconds, but it doesn't have to be. You get what I'm saying, DJ? You get where I'm coming from, yeah? All right. But this is the trade I was here for today, and I'm happy and pleased I was able to identify it, witness it live in price action, right? I'm fine not having engaged in it. I'm just happy that it panned out as it should, right? And yeah, solid stuff. Everything else was fair, right? We discussed, not that it matters waiting for a macro, but it reduces, it eliminates some losses. Also eliminates you from getting into certain trades, but I will have to collect the data to see if it's worth it for me, right? If it's worth it to let this trade go and feel no type of way. It's a retracement trade anyway. This is the one I was here for, and he gave it to me. And it also wasn't a macro, but does that need to be a macro? See. Yazi. Does it need to be a macro for me? No. Does it help if it's a macro? Yes. So let's just collect more data on that and see, right? It could be that, the first initial 15-minute, just let that interval go, wait for 45 minutes, but that's something I'll collect data on. It was fair losses here anyway. 15 seconds, 1 minute, fair loss. Nothing wrong with that. This one was also a fair loss, right? But according to my risk tolerance, right? It took a 1% here and 0.5. I would have been done on that account, right? Would I potentially have a next account to take that and this? That's also 2 losses there, isn't it? So something needs to give there, all right, in order to give me the opportunity to actually get in the move of the day. Yeah, I need to get back to the drawing board on that side of things. Or what are we gonna go? 1.5, right? Max 2. or the pro trend trade. That gives us 4 attempts. First one being 1, next 2 being 0.5, 0.5, right? That gives us 1.5, 0.5. That gives us 3 trades. Uno, dos, tres. That was been it, right? But this one I'm debating, right? Even if I didn't take this one, uno, dos, tres. Or this was a counter, you know, for at that time. I'm waiting for a sell. Yeah, uno, dos, tres. No, that shit, that dope. We got bitches in the land, though. All right, a lot to unpack there. All right, and we're just gonna be collecting the data on that, but we did see what we need to see for the morning session. All right, it's just everything else that happened prior is what we need to iron out and put some procedures and protocols in place to allow us, all right, if we do get caught up, obviously early in the morning, I need something in place to allow me to obviously capture the moving forward, right? Like here, right? So yeah, solid morning. Let's do a trade performance review and be done here, DJ. What I did well this morning is that I showed up, right? Got 1% better, gained experience and learned lessons that I'll take into my next trading day, next trading session. Got closer to my model, my procedures and protocols, and obviously realizing certain things that I need to adjust in terms of my procedures and protocols, and something I need to bring forth in terms of what I'm going to do if I'm ever caught in a situation like I was today, right? Where I would have potentially used up my risk for the day, right? And then I would have missed the moves going to the later portion of the morning session, right? So, I need to start bringing in time more, all right? And I think everything else is fine. I need to start paying attention to the most important part of trading, which is time. The time, and seeing if obviously that reduces some of the risk that we would have took earlier, giving us more risk, remainder risk to actually get into the trades that we're here for, right? So yeah, like I said, a lot to unpack from this morning and adjust in terms of procedures and protocols for these kind of days. Obviously the goal would be to have multiple accounts, but initially, right, I won't be trading multiple accounts, right? Maybe 1 or 2, 3 max. All right. Oh yeah, 1 or 2, 3 max for sure to start off with, and we'll see how that plays out. Definitely 2 to start off with, 3 if I'm feeling extra, you know. Like I got this. But anyway, where I fell short today, woke up at a decent hour, got my morning routine in, arrived at my desk. Chart wise, I wouldn't say I fell short because all the trades I took were following my procedures and protocols, right? Obviously, now that we've had this experience, it takes us to the drawing board in terms of coming up with something that will allow us to endure this losses, but also allow us to capitalize on the moves that we're here for, right? Because we saw them, all right, we witnessed them, we watched it pan out, and I would have loved to be in it. But at my current procedures and protocols, right, and risk wise, I wouldn't have been in this trade on this particular account. Maybe it would have been a separate account. That's all things that I need to work in. Maybe I'll keep it as it is. That potential account would have been done, right? It would be on to the next account. That's also a fix, right? It's a fix I can use, right? But it might not be the fix I'm going to use, but it's an option, right? It's an option. So I think that would be right now for me, I think that would be the best option for me. Just 3 accounts, right? And 2 for pro trend trades, 1 for counter trend trade for now. And boom, boom, boom would have been done there. Boom, boom. And that would have been it on the day. Yeah. We'll see either that or risk will get reduced, right? Those are really my two options I have, either multiple accounts or risk-wise. Oh no, two options. Increase my max risk to 2% from 1.5. Or in terms of trade-wise, I can just go in at 0.5 on all of them, right? And see, well, 0.5 will still give me 3 trades, right? 1, 2, this one's still debatable, but let's count it for now. 1, 2, 3. That would be that one account done. All right, and then we have 1, 2 on this account. Yeah, okay, that's something that I will obviously collect data on and come up with a solution in terms of what best fits me, right, for now. But how I can improve, all in that to say, I don't think I fell short anywhere in terms of chart wise. All right, everything I took, every trade that I took, I would have took them again, right? It's fair. It's just following my procedures and protocols, and just how the cookie crumbled today. How I can improve for next trading session is just keep showing up, all right? Keep seeking excellence in everything that I'm doing. Keep doing what I've been doing now, like analyzing my day, going back and seeing how I could have performed better, right? What I could have done differently. Just even if it's minor changes, all right, as long as the data proves itself to be relevant and it makes sense, right? I will adopt it and will make me a better analyst and better trader overall. So just keep doing that, right? Keep analyzing your performance, keep paying attention to the price action, keep sticking to your model precision protocols, and keep seeing how you can always improve like that. As I said, keep seeking excellence. That's what I'm doing here, seeking excellence in my trading and everything else that I do, right? So that's what it's all about for me here. Also, don't let short-term adversity series of losses, because we did have a series of losses today, all right, deter you from what you got going on. Just come up with procedures and protocols in place that obviously will keep risk management in the forefront of our mind, but still allow us to capitalize on the market moves when it gives it to us, right? Because even though we would have maxed out on our thing here, I still would have loved to be involved in it. And that's why I'm trying to come up with solutions and fixes that will allow me to still keep risk, in the forefront of my mind, but still allow me to capitalize on the move when the market gives it to me, right? So, yeah, solid morning. I'm happy I showed up, all right? Because if I didn't, I wouldn't have known this conundrum, right? It wouldn't have come up. It probably would have come up later on, and I'd rather it come up now, right, than later on, so I can have a fix for it later on, right? So now it gives us something to consider, collect data on, and adjust in our procedures and protocols. But overall, brilliant morning session. Saw what I needed to see on the day. And yeah, another day of building confidence, gaining experience in my model procedures and protocols. And very happy with it, pleased. All right, we'll be back for PM sessions. A newsless Monday. All right, so it's okay. So that also would be something I'll need to consider, right? If it's a newsless day, let's be more attentive to time, right? Time of the setup. Not that it's not an important day on a news day, right? Not an important thing on a news day, but on a newsless day, let's specifically pay more attention, right, to the times of the setup, right? Maybe we wait post 10 o'clock and then anticipate a setup, or before that would only be macro. There's so many things that can be a factor in improving my performance today. All right, and I'll need to go back and unpack it and analyze it and lay out the options and collect the data on all the options and see which one the data says, hey, this is the best option out of all of these options, right? So that's what we'll be doing. I'm gonna write down the options down now so I don't forget, because my old brain, I have a brilliant brain. I have a very, very smart, brilliant, amazing brain that I just need to cultivate, right? And so it can work for me. But anyway, DJ, we'll be back here for PM session for more execution and more trade management work, because that's the aspect we're on, right? We're close to where you want to be, but we're not where you want to be. I think by maybe towards the end of this month, we'll go as close to live as we can and see what comes up then and what needs to be adjusted before we hit that live trading. You feel me, DJ? Until PM session. You know what it is, what it is, what it isn't. Because if I keep staying on here, man's gonna keep rumbling. Because I'm a rumbler, tumbler, -6, getting smashed. Profit wise, it would have been smashed. But in terms of if I'm gonna be reducing risk or moving the stop, it wouldn't have been there yet. But target in terms of taking something off at -6, we would have definitely took something off there. DJ, I'm the trader here, signing out, rumbler. Signing out. Good luck, good trading. Happy hunting. Happy money making Monday.